Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day like we are as a community, of course, because we're all learning and growing together. But what I want to get at here is that this coin is doing awesome stuff. You probably already know that, as you can see here. Congrats to our community members who took some massive profits here. Let's take a quick peek here just so you can kind of see Solana 64% in 20 days, KNC, that's a short at 33%, or 32 rather. And then, of course, OGN 205% 25 days. So I don't know about you, but I'm okay with waiting 25 days to get 205%. Okay, so I'll explain kind of why we took the trade that we did. We took a trade down here in this lower region. Then, of course, why the price might continue here and what's going to happen next. So, again, if you are new to the channel, I'm not a financial advisor. I hope you can learn something here today. If you want to become a better trader, cryptocash.tech is a site. Link down below where you can be part of our premium groups there, where I do have trade signals, community, and more important, trading university where you can learn and grow to become a better trader. So when it comes to this coin here, let's talk. We'll just kind of go from top to bottom, then we'll quickly recover and cover what what a good entry would be to look at, because it was mainly the 4-hour time frame that we were able to identify an entry target, partially because of a double bottom and a falling wedge pattern. But more importantly, at this point, what's going to happen next? I got to answer that question here first. And the best way to describe it is that we are truly bullish in all sense of the word. So in other words, we're above all three moving averages here, basically just showing that we have a strong amount of support in this range, about 9.5. Now that's a volume support here, of course, and obviously a Fibonacci retracement level 2 if you pull down some fibs here from the most recent time frame. Okay, so right there at 0.382, very strong amount of volume accumulation. And so what we want to look at here is a few other things. Now we're overextended on the 4-hour and the daily, okay? But more important here, on the daily, we see the money and flow index is very high. Okay, when volume is high, the price stays high too. So like if we look at this coin's history, for example, we saw a money flow index coming into this coin here back in July. We saw the price action slowly increasing but not doing anything crazy. We now see money flow index high and the price is spiking. We've seen that a few times now. So this is much more likely for the price action to maintain its price point than it would be to pull back. And the main reason why is because we're above some key level resistances. And previously we never surpassed that. We're making lower lows and lower highs. Okay? So those are just little things to kind of think about, but the most important aspect here I would say to pay attention to is that we've broken through this strong resistance level here, right here in the range of about 12.3 to 13. That little range there is a new potential support now that we've broken that. Okay, so we'll talk about that and much more. Daily time frame is bullish, all right? We can acknowledge that. 4-hour time frame is the same as well. We just got to recognize also that we are still over 70 in the RSI. It's one thing to be above 70 in the RSI on the daily. That can continue to maintain itself for a very long time. The 4-hour, however, takes longer for it to be able to, it maintains itself less long, if you will, above that level. Okay, because again, it's a smaller time frame. So with us being up over 70 in the RSI, that leads me to believe we could see a little bit of a pullback before the next leg up. You got to recognize too, though, that we do have somewhat of a bullish pennant pattern here forming. Still a little premature, but this is definitely a sign, another breakout sign potential. Okay? Speaking of breakout signs, because we can confirm that we're overextended and we're definitely on the up and up here, almost too much of a good thing, right? We want to talk a little bit about these candlestick patterns, and I like to kind of touch on this here in most of my videos and kind of help you understand what leads to these little breakouts. Okay, so in hindsight, we had this little double bottom breakout, right, where the price double bottomed itself at a previous resistance level. Okay, so we can confirm, or at least leading into that, that's half the reason why we took our trade a few weeks ago, is that 8.4 cents was a strong support level. Okay, so that kind of reaffirmed itself. Furthermore, the price continues upwards, goes sideways, works itself into a falling wedge pattern, which is establishing lower lows, lower highs, and consistently kind of breaking down. But near the end of it, if you have a falling wedge with a double bottom, the likelihood of breakout is quite high. Okay, because again, you're taking not just one, but two candlestick patterns, using them together to effectively be able to break through that resistance. Okay, so again, this most recent high got broken, price never looked back. Okay, specifically, it came here to consolidate this at this level here, this 0.5 Fibonacci retracement, and that's a key level too. So we can acknowledge here the fact that 10.5 cents is a safe number there. That's going to be our new support if the price does pull back. Speaking of pullback, let's take a look at Elliott Wave and see if there's any indication here how far the price could pull back if it does. It's indicating here that we could see the price pull back down to these lower levels. Now I'm going to send these playout charts, or this playout chart here, through my Twitter, of course, and Telegram and Discord. So if you're curious about what the playout what this coin might look like. These are all available on my social media essentially. But for right now, just to note while we're in this kind of taking a look at this here, the important thing to recognize is that a pullback, if it were to happen, would be somewhere in this range here, somewhere between 0.618 and 0.5. Worst case scenario, previous support there at 0.5, basically 10.5 cents. So 10.5 to 12.2 cents would be, I would say, the range that we could expect the price to come down to and bounce if it were to pull back. I like to emphasize the words if it were to pull back because we don't truly know yet, but it's certainly looking like it's overextended and it would make sense for it to do so. But once more, we don't have confirmational signs here that the price is going to drop yet. So careful shorting this coin. A lot of folks see an overextension and just short right into it because it's overextended. And most of the time, these kind of coins, they will continue to surprise you. A lot of it comes down to, what is it? It would basically be liquidity and fair value gaps. So again, we got a lot of liquidity up here. So it makes sense for the price to sweep this and then come back down. That would make a lot more sense. But the truth is we got a lot of value down here that needs to be captured from the most recent high, that 10.5 cent range. So to me, I'd much rather wait for a 10.5 cent entry and buy the next long instead of longing the top right now, or even shorting the top too, because there's no guarantee it's going to come down. Again, I'm a little bit more conservative there. I'd much rather wait for a better long opportunity than short my way to it. Even though oftentimes you can short your way to a nice good long, it's very risky. Remember, shorts are much more riskier than longs are. That said, let's go ahead and summarize and kind of conclude here. Ichimoku Cloud is letting us know that we want to close our doors here in this long position, mainly because lagging spans soon to intersect with the price action. That tells us our momentum is starting to dissipate. Conversion line is starting to getting really close to the baseline, right? And when you have that kind of connection, so to speak, or the price action kind of wavering, it lets us know that we're not sure if we want to go bullish or bearish on this coin. And again, this coin is, or this indicator is very conservative. So it's letting us know that you should have taken profits by now if you haven't already. Heaven forbid the price continues higher and you do exit your position, you know at least you took some profit, right? That's how you take profit, is to actually close the trade. Keep in mind too, with our OGN, for example, we took multiple profit targets. We hit 5 different targets along the way. Okay? So I oftentimes take a decent percentage of my trade in the first couple of targets and let the rest ride. Okay? So different strategies, of course, but that's kind of what I like to kind of emphasize. Those are things I teach in my trading academy, but also in my community, where we're all, again, learning and becoming better traders as we progress, right? Every little bit helps. That said, last thing we want to summarize here is that the cloud is averaging itself out between 12.5 and 13.5. So this little range here. If the price breaks down below 12.5 in the immediate near future, then we're going to likely break down further from there and retest that 10.5 cent range. The thing I like to always also try to pay attention to here is the 1 month close, which literally just happened last night. The 1 month close was at 13 cents. Okay, so 13 should provide a strong support level. Once again, we lose that level, the price action should continue lower to retest our 1 month open and or low. Okay, because again, this coin, no doubt about it, it's overextended, has a lot of momentum, and in truth, it's going to be difficult to confidently take a long or a short position right now, at least for me. I'd much rather buy the dip. So I'm going to set my alert at somewhere in the 12 cent range just so I can kind of reevaluate and see roughly what this coin looks like at that point. Ideally, it's broken down below the cloud. We can consider a short down to the 10.5 cent range and then take a long from there. Right? Again, I wait for confirmation. We don't have confirmation just yet. It's going to break up or down. But the truth is, it's definitely looking quite strong right now. So I'd be careful shorting against this coin. That's my recommendation. I hope that you learned something here today. If you did, comment below, like, subscribe, follow. Really appreciate you jumping on over to our Twitter, Telegram, and or Discord. Help us continue to grow the community because it's just a really good group of folks. And we've got a lot of cool people here over in general chat. Just kind of having a good time. We got about 1133 members now, which is awesome because last week I think we had 1100. So we got a lot of new members onboarding and just having a good time. So really appreciate you guys. Thanks again for all the just making my environment a much better place. Like it's cool to be surrounded by other traders that are like-minded and effectively benefiting from everything that we can all contribute to each other. So thanks again for that. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Really appreciate your time. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.